Okay, it's important to understand that this is a continuation of the last tutorial that we had. And in our last class, we looked at two tools, the move tool and the marquee tools. You can look at the lecture to get the details on those two. The next tool we'll look at is called the lasso tool. And so when you right click on this polygon, you can see the polygonal lasso tool. Then when you right click, you see the other options right there. You have the lasso tool and the magnetic lasso tool. So lasso tool, polygonal lasso tool, magnetic lasso tool. So for polygonal, that's what I'm going to really pay attention to. It's similar, the other are similar, but I'll start with polygonal lasso tool, which is selected already. When you use the polygonal lasso tool or any of these tools, always make sure that the layer you want to use highlighted. From the last tutorial, I hid one of these layers, and so we just have this layer. But I need to highlight it to start my work. So I've highlighted the layer right here. It's highlighted, and so I have the polygonal lasso tool. And so the polygonal lasso tool is like a trace kind of tool. So if I want to trace the image and I want a certain part of the image to remain and to remove a part of the image, I can use this tool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trace this image. So like this, you can see. So I'm just clicking, that's left click, I'm moving the mouse. Okay, so when you move it, you can click on a place to stop that again. Okay, so you can stop anywhere and start again, especially in curves. Sorry, um, you have to take curves very seriously because it's so difficult to do a curve. I'm just stopping and moving, stopping and moving. That's about the best way to get the curves, because the curves is where the work is using this tool. You don't need to rush it, and it's always good to enlarge your image while using the tool, because then you can actually get the best trace. So I can't go all around the image right now for time, but I'll show you how it works. So if you've seen where you want to remove or the part you want to get, just go back to the starting point. So I want to go back to where I started from. So I want to remove this area. So I stop out, go to where I started from, and you see I've got this. Okay, just click on where I started from, and I press delete button. That's deleted. Okay, so now I have this, and it's deleted that part, and that's that for the um, lasso tool. And so I would undo what I've done, so that we can make progress. Control Alt Z. Okay, I've just undone what I've done, and so you can decide to actually use the other one, which is called the lasso tools. We use the polygonal lasso tool initially, and there's this lasso tool as well, which I'll just quickly show you because it can be useful if you want to create silhouettes. And so silhouettes is almost like those shadow kind of images where you just have the dark this thing over anything you have. So in this case, I just want to create a certain part. So I'm just tracing normally. So you're clicking and dragging your mouse. You see this. You see now. Anywhere I stop, you just have to keep moving. Whenever you stop, it just picks it up as where you want to remove. That's with the lasso tool. I press the delete button and that goes off. So you can see I click here again just to, so you can see this is how it is now. So if my background was actually black, that would be a black spot. So you understand how that works. So I could just put a dark image behind it or whatever it is. I take the old and trace the old this all of this. But mind you, just keep going. You don't need to really stop. And then when you're done, it's all the dark image. So for time, I wouldn't go through all that. So that we can go through all the tools. Okay, so I will undo this again. Control Alt C. Okay, Alt C, and that's it. So okay, we're going to the next tool, and this is a quick selection tool. It's interesting because it does similar thing with what I did with the polygonal lasso tool, but then in this case it's quicker, but it might not be as neat. But how quick it is really key. It's always better for images with better contrast, with the background. So I'll just show you this. So I can just move this right here like this. Okay, so in this case I've that's that's picked the mouse as well, in which case I'm not really going to, so I can just delete that. You see it takes that off, but the mistake with this is the hat should not be taken off. So I would control alt Z to undo this and then redo it, so that the hat is not taken off as well with it. Control alt C, control alt C, control alt C. Okay, control alt C. Okay, it's good. So let's do this. Let's do it again. We won't get to the art, so I'll quickly do this, move it this way. Okay, that's it. Cool. So delete, that goes off. Okay, and let's go again this way. Okay, delete, that goes off right there. And then you go again, delete, and that goes off right there. So you can go again right there, delete, and that goes up right there. And you delete again, that goes up right there. And then this goes this way again, and that goes off right there, delete. Okay, and then here you get this off as well. Okay, delete. Okay, so you can see we have almost taken every part of the sky away, but the edges are not as clean, but there are tools to use to adjust all this. But that's that for the quick selection tool. I would undo all that I've done and then go to the next tool. I just want us to quickly see all the tools. Would get to use this in projects as with time. So let's undo. So Control Alt Z to undo. And so we're going to the next tool, and the next tool is the crop tool. This is a familiar tool if you've used Facebook or social or Instagram. You would actually see the crop tool. I can click on the crop tool right there, and what the crop tool does is it allows you to select a section of any image, and so I might decide, okay, I don't want I just want the guy's hat, so I'm looking for just his hat, a part of his hat. But the thing about this is so now, okay, this is it right here. So I just want the guy's hat. I don't want the guy, and so I'm selecting just his hat right there. And so now I've selected his hat. All I need to do is I just dragged the tool over the hat, and then over what I wanted, which is the hat, and then I can click enter right there. Just enter. You don't need to press anything. Just enter, and it's gonna crop that right there. It's gonna take a while. It's taking its time. It's not always this slow. If your system is quick enough, so quick it could go quicker. And so that's it right there. So you have just what you want there, and that's what the crop tool does. It allows you to select section of your image to be used. And so for time, I wouldn't work on this image, where you can just work on this image to just get the hat. You can remove the background and just get it out of, which is quite interesting. And so I'll do Control Alt Z. Okay, and so I'm back to the image right there. And so what I'm going to do next to show you is the eyedropper tool. This is an important tool because it actually helps you to change colors. So now when I click on the eyedropper tool and I click on the color I want, so I want this color. Okay, so this is it. So when you look here at this in this area, when I click a color, it takes that color. You can see the color changes right there. So when I click that, the color changes. Okay, so I assume I just want let's say this color, okay, to this white to be this color. So I've selected that color. All I need to do is to use the eyedropper tool to pick the color, and then use the bucket tool to change, to pour on where I want the color changed. So that's the bucket tool right there. I'm just going to pour it right there. Okay, and just pour it there. So you can see this is useful where you have like two images. Okay, like Control Z. I just Control Alt C, Control Alt C, Control Alt C, Control Alt C, Control Alt C. I'm just doing what I've just done. So I've chosen this black color. I might decide, okay, let me choose a different color right there. So I use the eyedropper tool and pick this color. Okay, and then the bucket tool is what I'm going to use now to use that color on the background. So I want the background to be the same color with that, and I've just done that. So it's a very useful tool when you want to actually use the same image in parts of the image or in a different image attached to an image you've initially chosen. So you want the exact color on it. Okay, so I'm just going to go to important tools, like I said. So I'm just going to go straight to the pen tool, which is more important than most of the other tools that I've just kept. We might come to it later, but it's important to understand the pen tool. The pen tool actually is very important because it allows you to trace as well, but it's interesting because of how it works. It's a different kind of tracing. It does the tracing in a different way, just a little bit different. So look at this. The tracing is done in dots, so I'm using dots right here. So I click once. I've already picked the pen tool, so I click once, and there's a line right there. So I'm just going like that. I'm just going like that. You see. So at the curve, I'm just going to get to it a little bit more. Okay, so like that. So we're going like that. Okay, so we're going like that. So that's how the pen tool works. So the pen tool is you're tracing but using dots like that, not really dragging. You're just moving it and then using dots to do it. It's interesting because even at the curves, you have to get a little bit closer. And mind you, it's always better to increase the image, to zoom it, so you can see it a lot more. When you can see, you don't miss anything when you zoom it. So it's better that way. So in this case, I'm just going to go around the hat because I just want the hat. So for time, I might not have time, but I'll just try to do the hat. At least that should be good enough for what we're doing for now. So I'm tracing the hat right here. So I'm just gonna keep tracing, keep tracing, keep tracing. It's easier when you have a straight line. When you have curves, you got to slower. So it's really right with the curves. Okay, so let's go like this. Okay, okay. Let's do this. Do this. Do this. Do this. Okay, let's go like this. Okay. Okay, let's go like this. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, the curves, you try to be more careful where you get to the curves. So mind you, just have to get to where you started from to really before you can really stop. And so I've got it to where I started from. I just clicked on that right there. So what you need to do is to come here, this section. So what you see here is layers. So you come to this tab where you have paths, and then you can see what you've traced. It's called the work path. And so when you click on the work path, you just look at that. Then come here. This is a layer mask. So I'm adding layer mask just to mask every other thing and leave what I've traced. That's why there's a small dot inside, and then everything is going to be masked. So I'm leaving what I've traced. I'm masking every other thing. So let's just click on that. Okay. Okay, right there. You can see what has just happened. The mask is on its own right there. So I just have the mask and everything is gone. And that's how it works. So I click on this and I have a mask. So I have a mask just using the the pen tool. This is an interesting part because I can pick anything from any image. I can transfer this hat to a different image and it still makes a lot of sense. Also, the pen tool is really useful. So would undo what we've just done quickly, and so we can go to the next. Um, to Control Alt Z to undo. Okay. Control Alt Z to undo. So let's quickly undo what we've just done. Undo. Control Alt Z. Control Alt Z. Control Alt Z. So okay. So quickly, what I need to do is to delete the path I'd created before, so it's no longer there. I don't need it right now. So I'm just going to click on delete and say yes, I'm deleting the work path and it's deleted. So I don't need that right now because we're going to the next tool. So the next tool is a pen tool. So the pen tool is interesting, and so the pen tool, the text tool actually. So we're done with the pen tool, and so we're on the text tool right now. And so in the text tool, I can just click on the right on wherever I want to write. So I've clicked on the tool, and then here you can see this is showing Montserrat. I actually installed this, so you wouldn't find this font on your Photoshop ordinarily, only if you install it. I'll show you how to do that. You see regular 80. So this is, I've clicked on this, that's why it's doing that, so that I can write on it. The size is 80 points. I can reduce that. I can say it's 48, or maybe lower than that, 24. Okay, or a bit, so if I say 24, that's fine. Okay, so I can decide to write something on it, and I say okay, cat. Okay, I have written cat on it. So I'm using Montserrat, but please use a different font because you don't have Montserrat right now. I'll show you how to install fonts in one of our tutorials as we go on, and so you can use a different font for this. So this is the font. This is what I've written. All I need to do is to click on this to confirm this is what I want. And I can use the move tool to move it around. So this cat I've written. So I want to actually move it around. I put it down here somewhere. Okay. So actually, you can play around with this and change the color and do all you can do with that. It's a very useful part of what we'll be doing as we go on. So that's that for the pen tool. Okay, so let's go to the next tool that we'll be using, which is that's that for the text tool. The next tool is the shape tool. This is not really useful right now. So we're going to the shape tool, so we have the right click and see different shapes. Okay, different shapes are right there. Okay, so you can decide to change the color from here. Okay, so that you can see the color changes right here because the color initially we had. So you just mind you, we have this just to play around with the color. So if you want to do anything and you want to change colors, you just come in here. So now I want a red shape. So I'm just going to pick a rectangle. Okay, and draw a rectangle right here. Okay, and that's a rectangle. Okay, so the rectangle is red because I've chosen red, and so it's that. So you can, if you need it to write text in the rectangle, or I can even move this cat everything here to this point. You can move this anywhere. It's interesting because you're just putting it right there. And mind you, you see it's not on the rectangle because of the layer. So this is an important point to note. So you can't see this hex because it's behind the rectangle. So you come to layers right here. Okay, and then you take the text above the rectangle. So it has to go drag it above the rectangle from here. So you hold and drag. So when it's above the rectangle, it comes in front of the rectangle. So you've got to drag it for it to get to the front. Yeah, if you don't drag it, it will remain behind. So or you take the rectangle below the text. So you can drag the rectangle below to the text or drag the text above the rectangle. You know, and that's how it works with layers. So layers are these layers are important because you drag layers to show based on the position you want them to be, whether in front or behind. So if you want something to be in front, it has to be on top. If you want it to be behind, it has to be below. So you see the rectangle is on top, so it's in front. Nothing comes in front of the rectangle, at least for now. So you click apply, sorry. Now I'm gonna just make sure this comes before the rectangle. I'm gonna drag it above. So you see it's in front of the rectangle right there. Okay, and so you can see that it's in front of the rectangle, and you can just play around with these things, and then get the best of it. If I push the rectangle, drag the rectangle towards it, to still be on top. If I want this to be above the rectangle, I move it this way. So it's above the rectangle is behind right now, that's why you can see it. And so I take this down here, the rectangle comes back, and so that's how it works. And so layers have got to be played with right here from here, just moving up and down. Okay, and so that's that for that. And I don't really need the hand tool a lot in this tutorial, so I wouldn't show you much about this. You don't really need it that much. Would you? You wouldn't use that a lot. And so I've shown you what this stand for with the colors and all that. You can always switch and all that using this. So you're switching colors, and mainly when you use the eyedropper, it's always on the foreground, but if we switch it like this, it changes. The background comes up, or this is the arrow right there. So with this, I would say I've come to the end of the tutorial, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll come up with the next one very soon. Thank you.